all this is gonna go away. Like, the coronavirus is just gonna go away, and the rioting and the looting, that's gonna go away, and all the Karens and the racism, all of that will go away once Biden is elected. So make sure you vote for Biden. Make sure you vote for Biden. And also, it's a lot of people out there. It's a lot of people out there that are secretly gonna vote for Trump, and they will never come out and admit it. That's just bottom line. Why I think Trump will win the 2020 election with flying colors. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Jermaine, back with another video. Now, this is a video that I wouldn't normally make, but since so many people have asked me, and I've talked about this in a live stream quite a bit, people have asked me, like, who do you think is going to win the election? Now, there is a difference between asking someone who do you think is going to win the election or who you're voting for. Like, there's a big difference here. Now, first off, I'm just gonna say this, like, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'm also not a Biden supporter either. I see the whole idea of, let's just get Trump out of office because he's just so bad. Let's just do whatever we can to get him out of office. So that's really the whole, that's kind of how the card's being played now. So everyone is jumping on the Biden bandwagon just because they, want Trump to be removed. But I see a whole different scenario that's going on. I see something that's completely different going on. I think Trump is gonna win the 2020 election, and I think he's gonna win, and it's gonna greatly shock people. All right, I think it's gonna catch people by surprise. So first off, the media, right? The media, one thing that a lot of people don't realize about the media is the media wants you to keep watching. They want you to keep watching. And this is why whenever you cut the news on, this is why they always talk about bad stuff. Because people pay attention to bad stuff. People pay attention to shootings in their neighborhood. People pay attention to shootings in their city. They pay attention to things that are going on. People cut the media on and watch the fires in California. They cut the media on and they watch, looting in Philadelphia, and they watch looting in, Boston, and they just watch things on TV, and that's how the media thrives. Same thing with Trump. If they constantly show you crazy things and stupid things and ridiculous things that Trump is saying, that's going to keep people watching. That's going to keep advertisers going to the media, and that's just going to keep this whole deal going. And it looks like for the past 4 years, the name of the game is, let's just tear Trump apart. And that's basically what the media is doing here. Now, once again, I'm not taking up for Trump, but once again, they're tearing him apart. Now, once again, let's talk about his supporters. First off, let's just point this out. President Trump definitely speaks on a very, very basic level. It's basically like a 3rd or 4th grade reading level. And this is just very, very easy to talk to people, and very, very easy to talk to people, especially people who don't know English very well. Like, this would be very, very easy for people to understand. Now, on the flip side, Trump says some pretty radical things. Now, a lot of the things that he says, he is talking to his core supporters. Now, who are his core supporters? His core supporters, not the people that are jumping on the Trump bandwagon, but his core supporters. I could be totally wrong, but this is just like a random YouTube video I'm coming out with. But I believe his core supporters are people that live in the middle of the U.S. Okay, people that live in the middle of the country. Maybe I would imagine that maybe they live in a trailer park. Maybe they live in a nice house. The type of people live in the middle of the country, not people that live in places like New York and San Francisco. Not his core supporters. However, people that are jumping on the bandwagon, I believe a lot of people are jumping on the Trump bandwagon, and they are not coming out and publicly saying it. All right, there's a lot of things that Trump has done that has sort of been considered good in the business world. For example, if you take the capital gains tax. So myself, I've made quite a bit of money off of Tesla this past year. And if you hold Tesla stock for more than a year, or if you hold any stock for more than a year, well, you are taxed at a cheaper rate. You're taxed at long-term capital gains versus short-term capital gains. And well, under the Trump's plan, you can sell $40,000 worth of stock and pay 0% capital gains tax. Now, under the Biden plan, when Biden is elected, they want to change that. They want to change that to where you'll be paying like anywhere from like 21% to like 39% on the same $40,000. Now under the Biden's new tax plan, he wants to basically tax that $40,000 at my tax rate. So whatever that is, if that's 26%, or if that's 32%, or if that's 39%. So I would have to pay taxes on, that capital gains. But under the Trump plan, if I hold it over a year, well, guess what? I don't have to pay any taxes, and that would be pretty dope, because putting $40,000 down, that'd be nice, nice money to put down on like a $200,000 house or something like that. But under the Trump plan, I don't have to pay any taxes on that. But under the Biden's plan, whole different scenario. But once again, I'm not saying that that's why you should go out and vote for Trump, just because, you get a little small tax break. There's definitely more reasons why you should, pick a president candidate. Just giving out one example, that why people may like Trump more, because some of his policies are pretty cool. I'm not going to really go into a lot of his policies, but don't get me wrong, there's a lot of policies out there that he have that are really, really bad. Another reason why I think he will definitely get reelected, well, if we look at the history of U.S. presidents, U.S. presidents have been serving 2 terms for the past, 15, 20 years now. Like, it's just like every president gets 2 terms. Obama, Clinton, Bush. Like, it's just like the common thing. Now, with Trump, it's very, very easy for him to stay in office because he's already president. Like, he's already led us into this whole China trade war. Now, the whole China trade war, Trump is going after China. Like, he is for real going after China. Now, a lot of people may not fully understand the whole situation that's going on with China, but China has been playing unfair. I feel like I'm sounding like a Trump supporter here, but basically China has been playing unfair for a long time. Like, they have. It's not an equal playing field. They've been milking America for a minute, especially with the intellectual properties. I know Trump talks about intellectual properties, and anything that Trump says is kind of looked at as bad, but when he says intellectual property, like, this is real talk, because like this definitely does happen. I've also noticed, like, even when Trump speaks about the Space Force, a lot of people make fun of him for saying, oh, we don't need a Space Force. Like, that sounds like a joke. What are you gonna have, soldiers in space, like, fighting? Well, actually, to keep it real, to be honest, like, to just not to agree with anybody, just to be real and 100, we actually do need a Space Force. Because if we're constantly putting up satellites in space, that's one way a country could attack us without actually physically attacking us. Just blow up some satellites, and people won't be able to upload to YouTube, and people won't be able to use the internet in certain parts of the country. So in my eyes, we actually do need a Space Force, because I mean, come on, look at how much stuff they're putting into space. You have to protect those assets. It costs so much money to put stuff into space. So it's kind of real talk. I understand that it's coming out of the mouth of a person that a lot of people think I think this guy's, completely crazy, and I think, he's on meds or something like that. But, real talk, we actually somewhat need some way to, protect satellites in space. Now, another reason I think Trump is definitely going to win again is rioting and looting. Okay. So with all this rioting and looting that's going on, as of now, like, there's new cases of rioting and looting. There's new cases popping up in Philadelphia. Someone else was killed. I guess the guy had a knife, and he ran from behind a car, and then 2 different cops from like 2 different angles shot him multiple times, killing him. I mean, gosh, why do you have to shoot multiple times? Like, multiple times. Okay, I totally get it that you had to shoot because you were afraid, but multiple times? Like, what happened to just like shooting once? I mean, what happened if you shoot him once? Guess what? He's gonna like stop moving. He's not gonna chase you. If you shoot him once, like, that's good enough. But once again, they had to shoot him multiple times, and of course people are pissed off. and people are out looting and rioting and breaking windows and protesting, and what's new? It's 2020, and that has been going on like multiple times this year. So like we're getting used to it. It's part of the culture now. Looting, just go to the store and smash the window and take the things out that you want. And people actually think that if Biden wins, that the police overnight, they're just gonna stop killing black people. People actually think this. They actually think if Biden wins, that's it. Like, no more people are gonna be shot on the street in America. Like, it's only happening because of Trump. And this is like, this makes no sense to me. Like, it literally makes no sense. Like, Biden can't even talk about the police, because if Biden mentions the police, people are going to be like, oh, he's for the police, he's for the police. Everyone is all about defund the police. Okay, defund the police. Defund the police when there's people looting and rioting. Well, you know what's going to happen with that? You know what's really going to happen with that? People with money are going to leave those places. When people with money leave those places like San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, especially Seattle and Portland. When people with money leave, that's the tax dollars leaving. So what's going to happen in those cities? It's just going to be less funding for those cities. It's going to be, less businesses in those cities. There's going to be less incentives for people to move to those cities. And yes, people will say, yes, well, San Francisco is going to be cheaper. It's going to be cheaper. Well, just because San Francisco is cheaper doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a great place to live. Yeah, so what if apartment's $800 a month? But if the freaking apartment catch on fire, like, will the fire department come? Because, will the city even have freaking money? Like, will the police even come? Gosh, now you get into a car accident in the city, the police don't even show up unless there's an accident. Like, they don't even show up. Like, you have to just deal with it with your insurance company. You better have videos or pictures, or you better have a witness or something, because, the cops aren't gonna show up. It's just kind of how it is around here. And also, another reason why I think Trump is definitely gonna win, this man has so much publicity, and they're blinded to it. If I go to my Facebook newsfeed right now, there are so many people who are talking about Trump. They're talking about him. They don't want to vote for him, but they're talking about him. Oh, Trump did this today, and Trump did that yesterday, and Trump and his wife did this, and Trump did this. And like every single day, they're just talking about the person sitting in the White House. And I'm thinking, are you secretly like infatuated with him? Because every day you talk about him. For someone you hate, why do you constantly talk about them? I know so many people who do this. They do this over and over and over. They cannot stop talking about him. And the only thing I can think of is, what a lot of awesome publicity. They hate this man so much, they're probably gonna walk in there and accidentally vote for him on the ballot, because they've thought about his name so much, and they've repeated his name so much, and they've shared so many posts. They're probably gonna freaking go in the ballot and completely forget to hit Biden, and they're gonna freaking hit Trump, And also, it's a lot of people out there. It's a lot of people out there that are secretly gonna vote for Trump, and they will never come out and admit it. That's just bottom line. I just got back from Tennessee, my home state. I was in Memphis, and let me tell y'all something. Tennessee is definitely a red state. Like, it's definitely a red state. Like, people love to, I used to thought they loved Trump. At least the last election, people loved Trump. But this time, when I went to my hometown, I want to tell y'all something. I did not see that many Trump signs. I saw a lot of Biden signs. And the only thing I can think of, and I know a lot of people are going to say, because people have changed. People have changed their mind. People are fed up. When Biden wins, all this is going to go away. Like, the coronavirus is just going to go away. And the rioting and the looting, that's going to go away. And all the Karens and the racism, all of that will go away once Biden is elected. So make sure you vote for Biden. Make sure you vote for Biden, because all of the bad stuff is gonna go away. I'm telling you guys. Okay, that's the picture that is painted. But let me tell y'all something that is so far from the truth. I'm telling y'all, it's so many business owners right now that are definitely gonna vote for Trump, yo. Like, they will not come out and admit it. They will not say it, because they already know people hate him. Like, it's all over the media. Like, it's just hate. But I'm telling y'all, like, this is what I think is gonna happen. I think Trump next week, or within the next couple of weeks, he's just gonna pull a rabbit out of a hat, and he's just gonna surprise everyone and win again. You guys gotta think, remember the other election, everyone thought Trump would not win, okay? Everyone was so convinced, because right at the last minute, they had came out with that video, and Trump was like, grab them by the, grab women's by the, by the junk, right? Okay? Like all men don't like to, grab junk, you get what I'm saying, you know what I mean? But like, all that came out, and I was totally convinced. Back then. I was like, yeah, for sure he's not gonna win, yo. For sure he's not gonna win. Like, they kept pulling up so much dirt on him. But guess what? Right at the last minute, and even in the polls, like, they were like, yeah, Trump's not gonna win. Trump's not gonna win. Like, everyone was so confident. Everyone was so happy, right? And guess what? He ended up winning. And I think the same exact thing is about to happen right now. The same exact thing. Everybody's hyped up. Oh, he's not gonna win. And all of a sudden, something's gonna happen. Like, I don't know. Maybe Biden might get coronavirus. Maybe Biden might get it and get sick. Like, something's gonna happen, yo. Maybe something with the ballots, yo. Maybe, like, on voting day, like, a whole bunch of ballots go missing, or a whole bunch of coronavirus cases spike, like, magically, like, this weekend or something like that. Like, I've noticed, at least in San Francisco, I noticed since I've been back the past couple of days, I've been going by these COVID-19 testing sites. Bro, there's been lines to get into these COVID-19 testing sites. It wasn't like that like a week ago. It wasn't like that 2 weeks ago. So the fear is back. Now you got more people getting tested. And guess what? When more people get tested, the numbers are going to go up. When the numbers go up, the lockdowns are coming back. And with the lockdowns coming back, y'all know, like, Biden is a little bit different with the lockdowns versus Trump. And we're going to have to see how this one's going to play out. Like, I think Trump's gonna win. Like, once again, I'm not a Trump supporter. I know a lot of people are gonna, like, dislike this video and, like, give me a thumbs down, or maybe even unsubscribe. Like, I'm not tripping, because we gotta be realistic here. Like, just because Biden wins, like, coronavirus is not magically gonna go away overnight. You know what I mean? Like, all the people that lost their jobs this year, they're not gonna get their jobs back, like, overnight. Like, that's not how it works. Of course, if Biden is elected, there's going to be this huge infrastructure bill that's going to be passed. And this is going to be amazing for the country, because all over the U.S., our infrastructure is crumbling. And with this new infrastructure bill, they can put a lot of people to work. And a lot of these jobs are, jobs working on, freeways and roads and stuff like that, and, building buildings and stuff like that. And these jobs are great for social distancing, especially in this, pandemic that we're in right now. So, that's under the Biden's plan. If Trump wins, of course, Trump is gonna, keep up with China. And I imagine that if Trump does win again, which I think he will, the U.S. and China, within the next 4 years, will have a completely different relationship. I imagine that a lot of things that we have in the U.S. will not be made in China anymore. Maybe a few more things will be made in America. But I can definitely see that happening. A lot of people are talking about a war. I mean, we could possibly see that, especially with Taiwan and China. I think, I don't want to really get into that, but, like, that's definitely a thought. But yeah, about this whole, 2020 election, this is just kind of how I see it. Like, I understand, like, people have completely different opinions, but, people always ask me, like, Jermaine, what do you think of this? Because, before you've called a lot of coronavirus things, like, to the T, and, you know, people constantly ask me, what do you think about this election? And I'm just like, I think this election is a joke. I mean, Trump definitely has the upper hand here. And, you know, that's something that I can't just say that, like, in the street, you know, like, I'll get hit in the head if I say that, because people will actually think I'm a Trump supporter just because I say I think he has the upper hand. I mean, he's already president. Of course, he's done a lot of, you know, things that people that we may not necessarily agree with, but once again, he's got the upper hand already. Like, he's been going to rallies, and I mean, he's insane. I mean, bottom line, I mean, let's just keep it real. Like, the man is insane, and Biden looks like a dinosaur. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to talk about him, but I mean, he does. Like, let's keep it real. I understand that there's going to be some Biden supporters watching this video. I'm not bashing him, but the guy looks old. Like, bottom line, he looks old. And, you know, if you agree with me, like, put it in the comments below. Like, you know, show me some love here, you know, because I know I'm going to get a lot of hate on this video. But I don't really care. Like, I'm going to keep it real, y'all. Like, sometimes you got to hear the truth, and sometimes you receive a phone call, and that phone call is bad news, and you don't want to hear no bad news, but you need to hear that bad news, because when you hear that bad news, you know, you react different. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thanks a lot for watching. Just wanted to make a video where I think Trump is gonna freaking shake Biden. Like, for real, I think he is, and I think it's gonna be like, this is crazy. And check this out, if I'm wrong, if I'm completely wrong, guess what? The world is gonna be great. Like, everything's gonna be good. You know, everything's gonna be great. Like, you know, all the protests is gonna stop, coronavirus is gonna go away. Like, it's gonna be good. And in a fairy tale world, if you believe that, you probably believe in the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and also Santa Claus. But anyway, I'm out. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, yo.